Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Lee.
Welcome to the Untamed Spirits Whisky Podcast, where we review, discuss and compare the latest offerings and traditional favourites from across the entire Scottish whisky industry. Today we'll be discussing
Glasgow Distillery Company.
Glasgow Distillery Company, which I think they go with 1770 as well at the end of the...
Glasgow 1770, that is their single malt release, yeah.
Fantastic. And what offering from them will we be reviewing today?
Today we are going to be going with the Peated.
The Peated. I'll move my beer. Oops. Okay, the Peated. The Peated. We've both tried the Peated before.
We have, yes.
We've both did the distillery tour together. You were
have.
kind enough to invite me along to that for your 40th birthday.
Yes, it was nice.
It was.
It was a very good day. That was a very good day.
That was an interesting setup for the whole tour, to be honest with you.
It's different.
I think we discussed before about how pissed we got at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday morning
Something
when
like
we did
that.
that one.
I mean, it's very different from any other tour because they're generally, and I think we have mentioned this before, they don't do tours. They're not open to the general public.
No.
So it's a wee bit different in that sense.
Yeah.
They're also an industrial style. There's not much to the place, as you remember. It's in the middle of an industrial estate.
Not the easiest to get to either, unless you drive. It's fine if you drive.
It's
but
fine if you drive.
public transport wise, there's not many that's going through.
There will be a little bit of walking involved.
Yeah. Safe
But
to say.
yeah, it's also a wee bit hidden.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't normally know
Unless-
it's there.
Yeah, unless you know it's what it is, you wouldn't realise
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
No
I'm excited
bother.
about this one because I'm not going to lie, this is one of my favourite single malts.
That's high praise indeed.
It is for such a new distillery who have not been about for long at all. Do you want to tell us a wee bit more about that?
Absolutely. No, so, from my extensive research that I carried out,
No, of course.
which was mainly just on their website, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it started by two friends in 2012, Liam Hughes and Mike Hayward. And at the minute, it's a team of 16 spirit lovers. Because it's not just whiskey that they create. They do whiskey, gin, vodka and rum.
Yep. That's it.
So yeah. I'm not much. I haven't touched vodka since I was 18 with good reason. And gin's never really took my fancy, but the rum is really different, really nice. I've tried that before. It's the Banditi.
Banditi, yeah.
Banditi. So if you're a rum lover, give that a go. So they've got a bit of a larger team because there's no automation on the site. There's because I know there's a few distilleries that have. I think there's out in the Bain is a distillery that was designed to be run by one person and one person alone from start to finish.
Yeah.
So, but that was in the 70s. They started. I think they sort of formatted it to that. So, bit of a larger team with 16 people involved, but.
Yep.
You know, they're making good stuff, and they've got that sort of industrial ethos about them, about getting their hands stuck into it. So
Yeah, there's like a kind of no nonsense
yeah,
kind of bit
absolutely.
about them, which I think is quite good.
it's a good approach.
Yeah.
A good approach. Their sort of mission statement is sort of bringing distilling back to the city of Glasgow, if you will. So. I found that one a wee bit funny considering Clydeside's like right there, you know, and they're sort of doing that as well.
They're doing that as well, but see, to be fair, someone picked them just that little bit earlier than them.
Yeah.
Glasgow Distillery Company. I think it was months.
Yeah. Oh, they must have been
Not
fuming.
years. I think it was literally months.
Must have been fuming.
I mean, to be fair, you probably would have been.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate their mission. The more distilleries in Glasgow, the better for us. Because it's a shorter jaunt home.
That's the great thing as well, though. I mean, like as the name implies, Glasgow 1770, which is when they last had their their first
That's what
the
I
first
was
license.
Just
one,
about
wasn't
to come on to it was one of the first licensed distilleries, and I think it said in Scotland, not just in Glasgow.
Oh, 1770. That's
That'd be going back
early, aye.
a fair jaunt. So, so that's sort of branded the name, took it from that, and then moved on from there to, great heights, it would seem. So, at least they got the licensing before Clydeside could have stole the name for that as well. So, yeah, despite having starting in 2012, they didn't have their first whiskey still until 2015, which was something I found out. I think they started with either their gin or their vodka.
I think it was a gin.
The gin?
I think it was
the Macker?
Yeah, I think that was the first one they did.
Yeah. So that was their first still, and I think it was 2013 when they got their first still for that put in. And then their first whiskey still in 2015, which is what we're here for. Let's be honest. That's,
yes.
I don't know how you feel about gin. I just can't get into it.
I do like gin, but I like kind of more flavoured gins.
Right.
See, if you've got like a typical London dry, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Not the biggest fan of it.
I cannot stand a gin and tonic. I think tonic water is the devil. I do not like. I'll always have lemonade with my gin.
Yeah, I have heard gin lemonade and a wee wedge of lime. I've heard is quite nice.
It is. It's refreshing.
I mean, I could drink like pink gin and lemonade. I've had that before, but I know it's a bit through, a bit more like what the wife would drink. Not that there's any judgment here, but yeah. Yeah, never been up my street.
You see, this is the thing. I've got a very sweet tooth. I will happily drink any kind of crazy flavoured gin like you give to me. I will try it. I've tried like I don't want to go off topic slightly, but like the likes of like Edinburgh Gin and like Whitley Neal do some. Tarquin's is a good one as well. They do some great flavours. Tarquin's is a good one.
Fair. Maybe,
not taken away from Glasgow.
Maybe if we ever get bored of doing the whiskey on this podcast, we'll maybe have a wee gin day.
Maybe.
I mean,
we'll do a wee different day.
Yeah, mix it up a wee bit if we want to.
If we want to.
I've also got.
We might not want to.
I actually do have quite a few lovely rums in my collection. I'm more of a rum man. Like rum,
okay.
rum. I'm there for rum because I've got a sweet tooth as well.
Yeah,
like you say.
Okay.
But anyway, Glasgow Distillery Co.
Yeah, that thing we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah. So their first whiskey release, which would have followed their minimum aging of 3 years, was in 2018. And yeah, from there they just seem to be growing and growing.
Because 28th, I mean, that's not long ago.
Yeah, that's 7 years. 7 years. Yeah,
and then they're from the first release. That is.
Yeah, that's their first release. So yeah, and then they did their first peated malt in September of 2018. So that's when they first, which of course is what we're here to discuss today.
Yes.
And then they had their first small batch series that didn't come out until 2022.
Yeah.
And the following year, their first cask strength came out in October 2023.
It's a good one.
Yeah, well, we've had it straight for the cask.
We have had it straight from the cask. Yes.
Before. And wow.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then most recently, the most recently released, which you've managed to procure a bottle of, if I'm not mistaken, in March they released their 10-year. Their first age stated.
Yes, their first age stated. It was their 10-year-old from earlier this year. You had to be very quick to get that, along with this wee.
Yep, that's Lee showing off his hoodie there.
Yeah. Also got myself a wee 10-year Glencairn as well, so another part of the celebration. And I didn't get my t-shirt.
No, you did not get your t-shirt.
Their website crashed and I lost my t-shirt. There was too many people trying to go in at the same time. Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
Glasgow Distillery Co. 1770. If you are watching, Lee will accept a free t-shirt. And feels that he'll actually pay you for it as well. Just for the opportunity to buy it.
The white t-shirt. That's what I want.
It's the white t-shirt.
The white 10-year t-shirt. I was very upset bit about that.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone, their core range at the minute consists of 3, what they call their signature range.
The three, yeah,
The triple
three
distilled, the original, and the peated.
Yes. So we have in the signature range the original, which is a double distilled. It's first fill ex bourbon, and it's about 6 months finish in Virgin American white oak.
Right.
The triple distilled is very similar, but it's just distilled 3 times. Again, it's bourbon, Virgin American white oak. Super light. Dangerously easy to drink, that one.
You call it, I think you call it, was it dessert whiskey or morning whiskey? I can't.
No, it's your breakfast dram.
Breakfast dram,
Yeah, the
that's the
triple
one.
distilled
That's
is
how you put
without
it.
a doubt your breakfast dram.
Breakfast
The original, I'd say, is your daytime sipper. And then the peated is different. The peated is Virgin American white oak.
Right.
So there's no ex-bourbon cask in that.
Okay.
It's Virgin American white oak. And then it's 8 to 12 months is what it says. 8 to 12 months finished in Spanish PX hogsheads. To your Pedro Jimenez sherry.
Fair.
Which is what gives this such a beautiful colour, if you ask me.
That's that. I love the deep amber.
It's so it just looks delicious,
and it's
I'm
all
sorry.
naturally coloured and non-chill filtered.
Yeah,
So,
they are all about the now kind of sort of transparency.
Yep.
There was when they first started the releases, there was a wee bit of an uproar. I say a wee bit because they weren't like hugely popular at the time. They're still not immensely popular. A lot of people still don't know much about them. That's why I'm wanting to do things like this, because I want to change
Get
that.
the word
'Cause
out.
This is a
Get the word out.
fantastic whiskey. It's also my local distillery, so I'd like to see them do
Thrive.
well. But they first released their bottles in 50 cl.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I see why people would be upset about that.
Well, it's like fair enough. Okay, like you're maybe trying to
feel-
hold back on stock a little bit.
Yeah, I
But-
feel that there was a period of time, possibly when they have first released, when more and more distilleries were trying to get away with doing a 50 cl
Yeah.
as opposed to a 70,
Where
whilst still charging their 70 cl prices.
Yes,
which is when
that's
the issues really
yeah.
settled in.
People got annoyed about that, especially as well when you've got like online retailers and shops and stuff like that are selling the 50 cl bottle at this price,
Yep.
and then they get given the 70 cl bottle and it's the same price. Fair enough. So the price hasn't increased, but you've still got the old stock
Yep.
that you're selling for the same price. So there was a wee. Some people are maybe a wee bit. What's the word? Miffed. I'll use that word. I'm
Miffed.
using that word. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going with. But that's now in the past.
Yeah, this is certainly a 70 cl bottle that you've brought with
Yes,
you today.
yes.
That's
That's now
there's
in
no
the
doubt.
past.
There's no doubt there about
Like you said as well, yes, they've got the cast strength. So they've got the cast strength of the original
that.
and the cast strength of the peated.
Right.
Both of which are very nice, because we do like
Yeah.
a cast strength. We do like a cast strength.
Yep. Yep.
They're 10-year-old, which came out this year. They also do the blend, which is their malt riot.
Yep. Heard about that one.
Then you've got their Macker gin, the Banditti rum, and then the G52 vodka, which is their postcode.
Yep, I remember that one. They also have their small batch.
The
You
small
can't
batch
forget about
series,
that.
yes.
You can probably do an entire episode on that in itself. But they have.
That's been their most recent releases this year, and this is for people who want to know. This is June of 2025.
Yeah.
They have just released 3 wine cask finishes: Constantia, Syrah, and another one. It's gone out my head. I'd need to look up. And that's the peated one that went quicker. that sold out quite quick everywhere.
Fair.
So they have been very popular. Each small batch, I think, gets more popular because more and more people are kind of realising they're making damn good stuff.
But I think still being advertised, from what I could see, and what they were certainly not pushing, but had offered us the tasting of, and what we tried when we were at was it the tequila, the Manzanilla sherry, and the Calvados casks.
We had tried some of them, yes.
I definitely tried the tequila.
Because the smoke, no, we definitely tried that in the tasting room we went into, because we tried literally everything.
Yeah, we tried everything.
That has been the best distillery tasting ever.
Yeah. Here's bottles of everything. We'll just walk out the room and leave you all to it. That
essentially,
was
But because the
was
ones that we
appreciated.
tried ended up being their Madeira release, Marsala, and then the Isla cask.
Right.
That's what we had tried before they were released. I didn't get to buy any of them. They sold out quick. The Madeira one, as far as I remember, the Madeira one was our favourite. That was the first one. I think was that the first one we tried.
And what was?
And it was brilliant.
What was your favourite from our last tasting review?
What
was the Ardnamurchan favourite? Was that
happened to be?
Did that just happen to be a Madeira cask?
Ardnamurchan, yes. As it turns out, I have a thing about Madeira cask.
So where you have your thing about Madeira casks, I have my thing just about any peated sherry cask.
Yes,
I'll do it for me.
Weirdly enough, as well, Glencadam's one of my favourite distilleries. They make fantastic stuff. We will be reviewing Glencadam down the line. My favourite one of them that I tried was a 15-year-old Madeira cask.
There's a theme. There's a theme.
If it's not Madeira, then it's got to be PX. And if it's not PX, then no. Really, the ones that stick out to me are like Madeira, PX, and cognac. They're the ones I think for finishing whiskies seem to be, for me, the best.
Fair enough.
Not to say that others aren't good, it's just they're the best.
no, that's fair. Right, will we delve in and start talking about the whiskey today?
Yes, let's crack in. Or on.
So the bottle, let's talk about the bottle, because it's quite an interesting design.
Right, I love the design of their bottles. They're quite unique. There's not really anyone that's got a kind of bottle like this. Very Art Deco style. Quite tall and oval shaped, as opposed to just like a perfectly round.
Yeah, it's got a good big sort of glass bottom
It's got
as well. It's got a heavy glass bottom.
A very heavy weighted bottom to it.
It's almost like rivets that's at the bottom of it as well.
I think that's to look like either part of the still or the barrel or something like that. I think that's to kind of bring into it. It's got a kind of ribbed kind of feel to it. It's got Glasgow Distillery Company.
Ribbed.
Hey!
Ribbed and dotted at the bottom.
Keep it clean now. Glasgow Distillery Company embossed on the shoulder of it there. The neck, the label on the neck has actually got tasting notes on it. A lot of distilleries do that. Some people like them, some people don't. They're kind of suggesting to you what they get from it, but everyone's different. You're always best, I think, getting your own notes.
I understand from a view of why they put it on there, say for your people that maybe are looking for specific notes and what they know what they like, and they're maybe not as adventurous to try something and just see how it is.
Yeah. Me
personally, and probably for anybody that's probably listening to this would probably agree, I like to find out in my own. I like
the element of surprise.
I mean, it's the whole reason. It's the whole reason we're doing this podcast. At the end of the day, it's to see, what do you get? Because I'm getting this, and do you agree? And do you find something different? And what does it evoke? That's the love of whiskey.
Oh, it can be like any kind of food, drink, and it's very subjective.
Yeah. So I don't like being told what to taste. I like finding out. I like the label as well. The label with its sort of filigree is quite nice.
The bottle cap, I love at the top there, because it's the wee still, the kind of flame in the bottom of it. Glasgow 1770 single malt Scotch whiskey.
Is it a flame or is that the city?
No, it's a flame. No, we look.
All right, yeah.
I think it's a great wee logo.
I don't know if that's maybe
it's their wee logo.
I don't know if I've maybe seen that elsewhere where the stills had the sort of city outline on it instead, but
that would have been kind of cool, wouldn't it?
That's maybe how I would have done it, but I don't have enough money to start my own whiskey company, so
No.
I've barely got enough money to taste the whiskey.
Right. I will also say the cork. I love this wee design that it's got a slight lock to it as well.
Yeah.
But I've had this bottle a wee while. As you can see, there's maybe about a third left in this bottle. Right. I do enjoy this.
Yeah, I don't know if there's definitely not going to be a third left after today.
Well, unlocking that. Yeah.
Oh.
So the cork came off the top.
Mm.
Now, it's not an issue. The cork will still come out. But it's just something to be wary of. I mean, this can happen to literally any cork from any bottle.
It depends. A lot of corks maybe have the well, instead of having the sort of twist to it, a lot of corks will maybe have the cork itself be the stopper also.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
I appreciate the design.
The cork is a stopper, but yeah, maybe given that you give it a wee twist to lock the top of it does help loosen it
maybe
off.
what's missing is some spikes at the bottom to actually dig into the cork itself, as well as having the glue there.
Something to grip into.
Yeah, I get that's probably could be an easy solve, but
a slight kind of sort of thing, but it's not enough.
No,
I need something to really kind of not just grip it but hold it. You know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So yeah, I know we're going to talk about nosing later, but it's just opening that. I'm getting the whiff of Isla Eat Your Heart Out. Sorry, if anyone who likes their peated whiskey, this is one to try.
You know what? See, this time I'm going to let you pour mine.
You were
because
quite excited.
Generous. And then when it's my turn to bring the dram, as it were, I'll do the pouring, and you can enjoy that a lot.
I have troubled.
Okay, let's right. Let's have a look at this here then. It's got quite a nice colour. I like the deep amber colour that it's got to it.
It's a lovely colour.
Did you say what's the cask again? Did you say sherry cask as well?
It is a PX sherry cask finish. It takes 8 to 12 months. It says on the website 8 to 12 months in a PX sherry hogshead. And it's virgin American white oak.
You know, this is I don't know what's going
predominantly.
on. I don't know what's going on recently, but this for me in my glass is also having the same effect last time with the Ardnamurchan, where it is clinging together and not actually coming down in legs.
No, it's not coming down in legs. It comes down in just one big super leg.
Yeah. How strange is that? Yeah. So
also, just want to point as well, it's not a usual Glencairn glasses.
No. Today we have the Glasgow 1770 glasses that we both acquired. On their tour, that's quite a nice wee glass. It is a nice wee glass.
It's not too dissimilar to like a few distilleries do glasses like that. I think Ardbeg have done a glass like that. Lafroig, I think, have done a glass like this.
It's a nice classy design.
It's a wee bit different to the. See, this is more like a kind of sipping kind of glass, whereas like your Glencairn's more of your nosing tasting glass. It's still got that kind of shape to it, so you can still use it.
Yeah, you can still heat it up in your hand.
Yeah, but
it's much more.
It's a cross between like a Rocks and a Glencairn. That's kind of what it's like.
Right, well we go in for the nose.
The nose.
That is delightfully sweet.
It is sweet.
There's I've only got one nostril working today.
The PX really comes through in that one. That is
it does.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it is beautiful.
It's more sickly than toffee.
But this is the thing as well, because it's peated. Like I kind of jokingly said, Isla, eat your heart out. It's very different because it's not like a salty, saline kind of peatiness you get from it. It's not coastal.
It's.
If I was to say industrial, would you get it?
I get it to an extent.
I mean, I can picture this being made in an industrial estate, really, but in the nicest way.
Almost smells like a pure ester, like with how the smell is from it. It's like cane sugar. It's
Yeah.
It's like
It's got that nostril. Sorry, that I've got this nostril's picking up icing sugar, which I got from the Ardnamurchan as well. That's interesting.
does it smell
So-
the same as the Ardnamurchan? No,
It does smell very different. There's a lot more of the vanilla, I think, is coming through on this.
That's what I was looking for. The vanilla, a lot of vanilla.
Yeah.
Again, I'm getting it smells quite syrupy as well to me.
It's definitely a lot more candied.
Yeah,
Candy
candy canes.
Yeah, it's, as opposed to like a sherry sweetness,
Yeah,
which is weird because it's a very sweet sherry it's used, but
Yeah.
it's not coming across as a sherry sweetness. It's more, there's like a sugary sweetness to it, if that makes sense.
we try heating up a little bit in my hand and going in for
But then-
another wee.
You start getting a wee bit more earthy notes, kind of more of the wood starting to come through, I think. When you get beyond
Yeah,
that,
when you warm it up a bit, yeah, you get a wee smoky hint.
and you're giving it a little bit more time. It smells very nice. It's not challenging. It's not a challenging
absolutely
one.
Not. Maybe have a wee bit of oatcake, cleanse the old palate from the beer I've been drinking.
Yeah, I mean, I'd said at the start, this is one of my favourites. This, for me, will always be a staple in my collection. I don't have all of the signature range yet. I've got a couple of the small batch ones as well, and I've got the 10-year. The small batch ones, I've got the red wine and ruby port, and I've got the batch 2 of the cognac, which I kind of really liked when we had the tour. That's where we tasted that. It's like, yep, I'm getting that.
Fair.
Yep.
I'm curious to as if you'll buy this exact one again once you've had your once this is finished, because it's going down quick.
It's going to go down very quick, yeah. But is it, like you were going to say, I'm assuming, were you going to ask if it's going to be the same?
Yeah, are you going to get the same one, or are you going to maybe delve and try another wee one, maybe if they've got their small batch release, or...
To be quite honest with you, I want as many from this distillery as I can. I do want to have...
You do have a habit of trying the entire range of
I want to get a good idea of what the distillery is about.
Fair.
What's the character? What's their spirit like?
Yeah.
And I would like to have, for example, like the original and the triple, I would like to have in my collection, but they're not ones I'm going to keep buying, if you know what I mean. I'll have them there. I will drink them on occasion. This is one I will keep buying.
Fair.
I absolutely love this one. I will keep buying this one. And then small batches, I need to try them. And then I'll usually, because they always release their small batches, and usually it's like 3 bottles they'll release. And I'll probably, if I get to try the 3 of them, I'll pick my favourite. I won't try and get all 3 of them, unless of course all 3 of them were absolute bangers. But
Fair play.
I'm upset I never got the Madeira one. Yeah.
It does make you feel like it does. It smells like what I imagine a coal miner's house would have smelled like. You know, it's just that got that.
There's maybe like a slight gingerness behind it, but it's not like root ginger or anything. It's like a ginger cake.
You know, so I was thinking Lyle's golden syrup cake.
See, these taste notes or these
Quite
nosing notes
similar.
are very similar to the Ardnamurchan
Yeah, but
ones.
it doesn't smell the same as the Ardnamurchan.
But it doesn't. No,
No,
it's-
the Ardnamurchan did have that sort of coastal bitter note that you could pick up in the nose as well, and it had a much more earthiness almost to the smell as well. There was a bit more earthiness in the smell.
That I would say. The distillery is a coastal distillery, but they also have proper dunnage warehouses. Glasgow doesn't have a dunnage warehouse. They've got a big industrial type warehouse, so
out in their yard.
That will be have an effect on when it's maturing. also where they get their barley from as well. And I'm not sure where they get their barley from.
I'm not sure either.
Oh, I think that it is from various places. It's the more I smell that, the more I love it. And I already know I love this.
I could be wrong. For some reason, I felt that they might have mentioned Campbelltown at one point for their barley, which I thought was a bit of a trek. But
I think it's possible. They might have got some from there.
Aye, I'm sure I remember mentioning that.
I know they do.
They can correct us if they ever listen.
Oh yeah, please do. I know they definitely they'll get most of their barley, especially the peated barley from the Highlands. But yeah,
will we have a taste?
Please. I'm dying for this.
Slange.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I get that vanilla coming through.
Yep.
It's so sweet. First hit, toffee. Quite a bit more of the ginger as it rests on the tongue. I picked up on. It's kind of wee peppery note there as well.
Yeah.
And then at the back end of that, the smoke started to come through.
Yeah, that's when the peat starts to kind of come into it.
Yep. So the smokiness, the peat came quite through. Not very earthy, I wouldn't say at all. It's quite a smoky smoke. It's got quite a almost saltier note to it. Not salty. Oh, what would be the word? Yeah, I guess smoked. Salty-ish, like bacon.
Well, yeah, I'd say that kind of barbecued meat.
Yeah,
kind of sort of
that's the one.
That savoury kind of sort of note coming through.
Came through at the sort of back end at the end. That kind of almost smoky bacon.
But what's
kind of deliciousness?
What I think's funny about it though, you look at the colour of it. It is very dark.
Yes,
not the darkest, but it is very dark.
Yeah,
you know it's peated. Like you're getting barbecued meats. But at the same time, it's still light.
Yes.
It's not like you're taking it and going, oof, like, is it like, again, bring back to like a peated Isla, for example, which tends to have a bit more of a...
Like a terrible Lefroy?
They're not terrible. Right, we're not doing this today, right? We're not doing it today.
Sure? I feel like I cast my line there and got quite a big bite. That's
Mate, just stop it. Behave.
Oh, okay. Lefroy episode incoming, guys. All right.
That's going to be an interesting episode. That
for you.
I'm going to have a fantastic day.
I'm going to have a terrible day, probably. Well, no. In fairness, I've had the half cast before and it was nice. But we're not here to talk about
the quarter cast.
That one. We're not here to talk about Lefroy today, though. We're here to talk about Ardnamurchan. No. Glasgow 1770. I've had one sip of that.
You've had one sip.
I've had one sip and I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
But it's making you think Ardnamurchan. And you praise quite highly.
But that's because that's the last episode we did. And it was also a peated sherry cask.
Could you tell that we're amateurs? Could you?
Yeah, well, to see how much of this gets cut. But yeah, you know what it is?
I mean, say it's light. It's not got too thick or too viscous or like a mouthfeel. It's slightly oily, which I do like, but it's not super oily.
It's not cloying.
Yeah.
It's not cloying. It's, yeah. Are we just on the tip?
But I think it's just a tip.
Just the tip.
But that's your... But you're still getting that that like, kind of date, kind of syrupiness.
I'm
Maybe
getting
almost
something
pruny.
different. I'm getting something different than that. I'm almost starting to get a slight hint of like a citrusy note, just on the tip of the tongue. I'm going back in for more.
I don't know if there's maybe like a kind of slight grassy kind of note to it. But that's going to come down to the. I imagine that's going to come down to the barley that's used.
I'm getting a slightly. It's like
It's like there's something fresh about it.
yeah. It's. I said citrusy. That's
did they say?
possibly not the.
Well, their tasting notes, right? It says sweet smoke, rich toffee, dark fruits, vanilla definitely, tobacco leaf.
Is that maybe what I'm getting at?
That is what I'm maybe getting on the aftertaste. Cacao nibs.
Cacao
get,
nibs.
Yeah, you getting any kind of chocolatey vibe?
No, I'm not getting chocolate at all.
I'm not quite getting that. Dried apricots.
Yeah, I can get that. That's what I'm getting on the tip of the tongue.
And then
the
hints of black peppercorn.
Yeah, I'm getting. I said
The black
I did say
peppercorn,
that.
yeah.
That's what I got the gingery, peppery feel from the black peppercorn. I would agree.
I would say
When it rests in your tongue for like a minute or two.
it's saying dark fruits. I'm maybe not like getting things like plums and stuff like that.
Plum and cherry.
But definitely because of the PX, I'm getting that kind of date or fig, but
I've
dried.
Not picked up on
Nope.
that so much yet.
The
dried apricot, I can. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Is that
I
that?
said citrusy, but then I changed my mind. No,
That's what that is.
Sort of dried apricot kind of taste.
See, I'm getting a slight grassy note to it. Not quite like hay or straw, but actually like kind of that kind of cut grass.
Like fresh cut grass.
But it's like a hint. It's not like a strong flavour in it. It's just a hint. The sweet smoke, I think, is all the way through it.
Oh yeah.
The tobacco
you get-
leaf for me is at the back end. That's like in the aftertaste, like it's part of the finish.
You know what, I'm gonna have a wee oat cake. I'm going to refresh the palate, and then we're going to go in and see what else is there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to join you in that. I'm going to join you in that. Well, that's dry and bland.
Yeah, that's why we have juice or whiskey.
I finished that.
What? Oh, okay.
Thing is, though, this is flavoured.
You know something? I brought the water out. I don't think it needs it.
It's. I
brought
think.
water. We always bring water along.
No, you always want to try it with water.
But I don't think that
You
this
can-
whiskey needs to be watered down.
No. You can get away with not adding water to this. It's not blowing your socks off. It's not crazy peated. It's not. It's 46%. So,
It's strong,
You-
but not the strongest by
Uh-huh.
any means.
but I think that it's also coming down to the way it's made. I think it's well made. I mean, I've had 46% whiskies that have gone, oh my god, that needs water.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, what? I mean, Talister's what? Is that a 45% whiskey? Or
40. I'm sure Talisker says it's like 45.8. They couldn't just say 46. You know.
So I think I mean Talisker. I'll put a wee drop of water in a Talisker.
Again, Talisker doesn't need it, but
No,
I would
prefer
say
a wee bit in it.
I think Talisker with the water, I think, brings out a lot more sweetness in it.
Yeah.
It kind of levels off some of the kind of. There is a slight harshness at points.
For me, this I'm not like, oh, I need to go looking for more stuff in this at the minute. I feel like I'm getting big hits of everything, and it's all quite lovely.
It really is. It's good stuff. That is good stuff.
Like I said, it's got that big sweet note at the start, with it resting the tongue, and then you do get that black pepper.
Yeah.
And that sort of like ginger coming out, I feel. And and then the smoke just comes in at the back end of it.
Right.
It's quite a big smoke hit, but not overbearingly so.
No, not at all. No.
It doesn't take away from the smoothness of the spirit itself.
It's definitely got that kind of campfire-y
ness
to it, but like a nice warming.
It doesn't like burn from the smokiness in the way down.
No,
it certainly doesn't do that at all.
And it doesn't.
It's extremely smooth. It doesn't catch the back of your throat at all in any way.
The smoke isn't like, or the peat isn't overtaking anything. It's not.
No, everything else is
still
still
there. It's not overcrowded with it. You know,
it's welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another part to it. You know, yeah. Right. I'm adding water to this.
You add water.
What's that? About 2 mil. Gonna go with 2 mil.
I'm gonna go with a bit less because I have.
You do you, man.
I have less. You
enjoying that there, right?
I clearly have been. So I'm maybe just going to add like not even a mil.
I'm going to refer to these as a volcano glass. That's what I'm thinking there.
Volcano glasses?
Yeah.
Fire her up. Yeah. You're going to let it settle a bit?
I'm just going to let it settle a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Is there anything else on this bottle, just to give that more time? Ooh.
Oh, QR code.
QR code. With their logo right in the middle of it. That's a nice wee touch as well.
Indeed.
So the wee pot still.
I wonder what that will tell you.
Why don't you give it a wee scan? Oh, you can.
I can.
You can.
Why? Because my phone is recording this.
Yes, I will give it a wee scan.
You give it a wee scan.
I mean, it probably is just going to take you to the website anyway. But let me see.
But I wonder if it'll do what Ardnamurchan did with the telling you
like
who
the full breakdown.
The full breakdown.
It takes you to their website for their small batch releases. It's just okay. So it's essentially just a link to their website, and it's just showing you their latest releases.
Yeah,
fair enough. Right? Okay.
Fair. Ardnamurchan has the edge there.
Yeah, I would say they do. I say Ardnamurchan, and another one that does that is Bruichladdich. And they are quite good with what they show you as well. I
love a Bruichladdich.
Bruichladdich is good. That's one for the future as well.
We do have plans for many reviews coming your way.
Oh my god, we could do so many.
That's a great thing about podcasting.
It is.
We need to up the amount of times that we do.
So just to talk about this year's small batch release, I think it was 3 wine cask ones. Let me see, what was it? Constantia, which is unpeated. The Syrah, which is unpeated, and then there's the Pinot de Charentes. Is that right?
Pinot de Charentes,
which is the peated one, and that is the one that is like sold out so quick in quite a few places. A lot of people seem to be very excited about that one. I have heard, and I think when reading the kind of notes about it, I think that the Syrah and the Constantia both sound very, very nice. But I've had a couple of people tell me the Constantia is that's really good.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're buying a bottle of now or what?
I can't.
How come?
Because I'm going on holiday. I need
Fair.
money.
Fair enough.
Plus,
well,
I was at that bloody Glen Scotia tasting a bottle of Victoriana.
Yep, that'll hit you right in the wallet.
But you know what? It's definitely worth it. It's a fantastic bottle, that one. Look at that. See, I scroll down to the website. What's that? That's that bloody white t-shirt.
White t-shirt.
That is that white t-shirt. Can I still get that?
Unless they're wanting to. I'm kidding.
Hold on. Yes, they've got it back in stock. I'm going to get that. Yeah. Oh, what size? Large or medium? I'm kind of in between.
You can fit into a medium.
Aye.
Mate, I'm like extra large, like
I know.
double XL. You're a dick.
Good. They've got the white back in. Right. Cool. Groovy. Only I could have got the black t-shirt, but I got the black hoodie. I didn't want to get a black t-shirt and the black hoodie.
So you just wanted to get the black floof from the black hoodie all over the white t-shirt? Is that what you're
Well, I
saying?
wasn't going to wear them together.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, fair.
I mean, because like I would just be covering up the t-shirt then, wouldn't I?
Fair enough.
I feel we've got a little bit off topic.
We have. I'll probably cut some of that.
No,
Maybe
don't. No, keep that in. Keep it in.
You're going to come back to me and tell me to cut all that.
We're going to redo this entire thing. Right, okay. So it's been a little bit of time. A little bit of time. That's changed the nose a wee bit. Not dramatically, but... Oh.
It's sweeter.
There's almost like a kind of...
The grassiness is more out in the nose.
I would say...
Uh-huh.
But it's like a... There's almost like a kind of aftershavey, maybe like a cologne kind of sort of... kind of note to it, but I don't know if that's... Is it that just the alcohol in it?
That might just be the alcohol and the sort of industrial side to it.
Definitely sweeter. Mm-hmm. And lighter. See, maybe the smoke's died down a wee bit, and maybe dark fruits, maybe that is starting to come through a bit.
Yes. The smoke has died down a bit. The sweetness is more pronounced.
Yeah.
The pepperiness and the ginger is more pronounced.
Definitely get that there's a kind of warmth in the back now,
Uh-huh.
which wasn't quite there.
No.
Which is interesting.
strange.
Uh-huh.
Why would adding water add more to that? Like, that would... All logic would indicate that would die it down a bit, but it doesn't.
That's something that I found. See, the red wine and ruby port small batch, that was a peated one. And I found no matter how much water you added to that, there was always this big spice at the back of your throat. It just, you could not get rid of it.
But it's weird that the big spice wasn't really there when it was straight.
No, it is funny that.
It's weird how the water has brought that out.
Is there maybe like a kind of cola-esque kind of... Not red cola like we got in Ardnamurchan, but it's like...
Yeah, a wee hint of that, yeah, for sure.
Like a post-mix cola, like syrup.
Almost like a watered down cola.
So the opposite of what I said.
That could just be me. Hey, different people get different things. It's a wee bit earthier now. Slightly more
There's maybe a wee bit more kind of sort of bitterness coming through in it.
Slight hint. But that goes against me saying it's, finding it even sweet, like the sweeter notes and the gingeriness being even more pronounced.
It's funny. Like the water has changed it, but in weird ways.
Yeah. Like the opposite ways from what you would expect, if anything.
Actually, there's a wee bit more. I think that's the PX. PX and wood. I think that's the oak starting to come through in it now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lovely. Do not get me wrong.
It's so weird that it would never have caught my throat straight. But now I've added some water to it. When I took a big inhale there after, with it still resting my tongue, like it caught my throat.
So I don't know. Maybe this you might find. I think I actually have found this myself. If you are adding water, let it sit for a good bit. Give it time.
I'm getting the sort of darker fruit side of things, the sort of dried fruits like raisins and dates and that side of things is coming through more now.
So there's your PX effect. That's the finished side of it starting to come through in it now.
Yeah, that's now more pronounced with the water. Yeah, I'd definitely say like dried raisins and
I think
kind of
the
datey taste.
The peatiness, the smoke I think has died down. But what I'm maybe getting is like a toasted or a roasted, like kind of. No, I don't know if it's like the barley, like a kind of roasted grain kind of note coming through in it. And I don't mean like it's been burnt or something like that. Or like a toasted nut kind of note coming through in it.
Yeah, I get you. Like roasted chestnut,
Maybe. But it's still sweet. That's what I personally like about it. But it's like, there you go, it's a peated PX. I always think it's always a winner. I don't think you can go wrong with
that's so strange.
Peated Whisky and PX.
How different the water has made that, and it's almost like a different whiskey.
There's a wee bit in it.
Yeah,
It has changed it quite a bit.
I never really got the dark fruit thing that much or at all. I was getting, like I said, dried apricot more, the sort of darker fruits before adding the water, but then after, raisin, dates, and that's kind of sweetness. Still a massive hit of sweetness, but I guess maybe a wee bit more treacly.
Yeah.
A bit darker.
I'll agree with that.
And the smoke being less pronounced as well.
The smoke maybe dying down. I think when you add a bit of water to a peated whiskey, but it's kind of like you're saying, it
took away the smoothness a bit as well.
You expect when you add a little bit of water to a whiskey, you expect maybe notes that you got a hint of start to come to the forefront a bit more.
Yeah,
ones that were in the forefront start to take a wee bit more of a back seat. It all kind of starts to calm down, relax a little bit.
Yeah,
but this has actually changed.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, but I think it's kind of taking the smoke out of it. It's bringing notes that you didn't notice before. They've just come in going, hi,
yep,
we're here too. It is very different.
Did it evoke any memories for you? Apart from going to the distillery tour.
It doesn't evoke memories for me because
I don't get that
but
either.
But this is one I do like. This one I like to drink in the house. I don't know, there's I'm maybe getting the kind of sort of connection of like, because they are a bit more industrial with their setup, and I've been there and it's in an industrial estate. Some of the kind of smokiness, and I'm maybe just.
Do you visualise a coal miner? Because I did.
No, it's making me think of my dad's old garage.
Right. Okay.
When he had the old cars in it, so there was always this kind of
oily
and
kind of smell, oil and petrol smell,
oil, petrol, dirty tools, and like spanners and stuff lying all over the place, dust and kind of things like that. But I know.
Well, I finished my dram.
Yeah, I finished your dram.
So I can provide no further insights at the moment. But yeah, that was a tasty beverage.
That is a tasty beverage.
Do you have anything further to add to it before we move on to say rating?
I think it's still getting sweeter.
Still getting sweeter?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
It is one of my favourites. It still is one of my favourites.
Do you mind if I go back to trying a wee full strength? Not a full dram.
Yeah, man.
Try a bit of it full strength.
Just do a wee comparison. You need to take the cork out.
That fucking lid. Honestly.
I know. I don't really think there's anything else to mention.
Just a wee dram. No,
I was very excited about
not a
doing this
Danny
one.
pour. Not a Danny pour.
Not a Danny pour, no.
Don't want to put that in too far either. Is it too far already?
No, just leave it like that, because basically it'll push it down when I put the lid back on it. Yeah, there you go.
Smashing. Yeah, not a Danny pour. That should be a thing in itself. The Danny pour.
The Danny pour. It's... There are other ones I would like to do down the line. I mean, yes, like the original, the triple distilled, we can do them.
Yeah.
At some point, the 10-year-old, we're definitely going to do the 10-year-old. I'll bring that in, and we'll definitely do a review of the 10-year-old. I have not opened that bottle yet, so
you know what? We'll maybe fire that in for a wee edition of 10-year-olds.
Maybe
have a wee 10-year-old edition.
Well, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
A couple other 10-year-olds.
I was thinking the same thing, because you've got Ardnamurchan have now got a 10-year-old. Loch Lee aren't quite there yet.
Well, they've
got a 6-year.
We'll discuss them in a minute, or in our next episode.
But there's also, like we said, there's their small batches. So
yeah,
we'll do an episode of small batches.
You know, going back to it straight. I can understand the dark fruit a wee bit more.
Right, okay.
I still don't think that's the correct term for it. I don't.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
It's more. I'm
fair.
getting more treacle again now.
But
big sweet note.
Yeah,
definitely more treacly.
That's the PX though. That's what that is.
I don't think the dark fruits is there until you add the water at all. I still. That's how I feel. I feel like it's more the dried apricot for sure. And maybe getting confused with the dried apricot and treacle leads you to dark fruits.
Tell you what, actually, see on the nose.
See
on the nose, I'm maybe starting to get a wee hint of cherry. What, a cherry vanilla. But you understand why it's one of my favourites.
Well, it's gone again.
It's gone again, man.
That is far too easy to drink.
I mean, you do get.
How did you stop at a third of a bottle? Because
I thought, see, if I don't stop now, I'm going to tan it.
Yeah.
So I put it to the side to start drinking other things.
I can see why you would tan it. Right, will we write down our rating and then compare?
Sure thing.
For a big reveal. Did you have a number in your head for this before coming here today? Because obviously,
I had a rough estimate, but I'm also trying to think of how I've scored
your Madeira cask and my Ardnamurchan.
They're both Ardnamurchan.
Yeah, but it's my Ardnamurchan for the peated sherry.
Sherry cask, yes.
Yes.
Madeira and the sherry, and I'm trying to think how I've rated them. I also want to keep in mind, like the Madeira cask, like their batches. It's not like a core release. This is a core release. So there's maybe something a little bit more special about a batch release, if you know what I mean. Because you don't get it often.
Oh,
how am I going to do it? The question is, do I prefer this to the Ardnamurchan sherry?
That is the question.
I think that is the question.
Because...
And I'm not going to lie.
You gave that a 7.
I gave that a 7. I gave the Madeira an 8. So I'm going to do it. I wasn't wanting to do this, but I've changed my way of thinking. This is one of my favourites. This will always be a staple. 7.5. I'm bringing in the decimals because I'm slightly torn. It's not the Ardnamurchan Madeira. Just has that little bit extra. It's a little bit more special.
You know, I was sitting at 7.5 until I had a think about that. I actually gave a 7.5 to the Madeira.
I was
like,
what have you done? What have you done? Have you gone lower?
7.0.
You've okay, right,
Now here's my reasoning.
right. No, on you go.
That's a lovely dram. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Really easy to drink.
Yep.
Lovely tasting notes.
Mhm.
There is nothing bad about it at all, and there's some really strong points to it.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to give a whiskey for being nothing bad, it would be a 5.0.
Very middle of the road though. 5.0 would be like meh.
Yeah, 5.0 would be meh.
Meh.
So having to base it on that, what would 6.0 have been? That's got some
Yeah,
redeeming
okay.
factors to it, so it's got something that makes it stand out a little bit more. And a 7 is, that's quite good. But is it excellent? Is it great? It's very good. I would buy a bottle of it. I would drink it. I would enjoy it. But it's not that it's lacking or missing anything, but there's nothing that's surprising or grabbing. Do you know what I mean?
No, okay.
It's great, fantastic whiskey.
It's what you expect it to be.
It's what you expect it to be.
Yeah.
And
There's not any, necessarily
me
any
wrong,
surprises.
if you went in with blinkers on and hadn't tried it before, and you were like, "Oh, what the hell is Glasgow 1770?" and you try it, you think, "Oh, you would be really impressed with it." It's a really impressive dram.
Yeah.
Unlike the Ardnamurchan though, Ardnamurchan has something that makes it a bit different and a bit standoutish. It's not quite got that, but it doesn't mean it's bad. There's absolutely nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
And it's a really good whiskey, but there's nothing extra to make it stand out for me.
I think I know what you mean.
And I was between 7 and 7.5, and then I thought about the Madeira, and I was like, well, no, I think the Madeira's better. So
It just nudges it.
Yeah,
it's just got that little
because it's got that
something
wee
extra.
different. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
different. It's got that. It's it's different basically, and that's where I think beyond 7, what really comes into it is what is the things that's making it stand out as opposed to just doing well.
Mm-hmm.
This does everything really well, but for standing out, it's not quite there for me.
Okay.
But that's not to take anything away from it. Great dram.
Mm-hmm. No, I think
You understand my logic?
I think a lot of people actually know what you're getting at.
Yeah, because if you can
Ar-
easily go
Ardnam-
too high with everything.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that here. Anything below a 5 is stuff where we found a problem with. 4, you would maybe still drink. 3, it's teetering off a bit. You wouldn't really want it. 2, there's a lot going wrong there. And a 1 would be, that's terrible. And a 0 would be, don't even touch it.
It's like don't even acknowledge that it exists.
Yeah.
But
Like
this is the
Mackay.
thing, though. But we're now trying to get into like you're comparing Glasgow 1770, which is a Lowland.
Yeah, to an Isle of Malt.
No,
No.
to a West Coast, a Highland West Coast malt.
What am I thinking? But yeah, but I'm also thinking about other whiskies I would have and possibly where they would end up as well. And
I kind of feel as well, Ardnamurchan, a lot of people are raving about Ardnamurchan
Yeah.
because they are doing something different. Their
Yeah.
their character is different.
yeah,
Probably described as much more of an old school style in modern times.
Yeah.
So that's maybe why they're standing out a bit more.
Possibly, yeah. Again, I'm basing it mainly purely on the flavour profile of what I pick up.
Yeah.
And like I says, I mean, you could probably even argue that Ardnamurchan, you wouldn't be able to sit and tan the full bottle.
No.
Of, and you could with that.
See, that's
You
the
know,
funny thing. Ardnamurchan, like we said
It's
before,
it's harder to drink in a sense.
do not give that to a beginner.
No.
It's not an entry whiskey.
It is not. This, I think, you would be. See if you were like,
For
do you want
an
to try something that's maybe got a bit of peat?
Yeah,
This one
yeah.
will go. Tell me what you think, because I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
it's not got the kind of shock factor that some of the Islay ones can have because they've got that big medicinal or saline kind of sort of the salty notes to them. So that makes sense.
For me, 7. I think 7's a great score for how we're doing this. I think 7's a really good score. I think that's, I was swithering between that and 7.5. I've went with 7.
Do you know what's annoying?
I've
gone 7.5. But the more I'm thinking about it, should I have gone 7?
Well, it's not locked in yet.
You know what? Tell you what. And
we're in agreement.
I am not discrediting this whiskey or Glasgow's distillery company in any way.
Not at all. That's what I'm saying.
This is one of my favourite whiskies. They're one of my favourite distilleries. I think they're doing things so well. Everything that they're releasing, I've enjoyed. I've not had anything from them. I've gone, it's all right.
Here's the way to look at it. See at school. See if you got 70% on a test.
Yeah.
Still an A.
Okay.
Or at uni, it was still an A. It's not an A plus, but it's still an A.
Mm.
That's how I look at it.
Right. I'm going to put this on par with the Ardnamurchan Sherry. Right. I'm putting it as a 7.
Yep. Because of the logic that I gave you.
It's I do understand what you mean. It's why it's not going to beat the Ardnamurchan Madeira because that just has that little something.
For you, yeah.
For me, yeah.
Whereas the sherry peated sherry cask had that little something for me as well.
But I would always have that. Let me say, I will always have that in my collection. I probably won't always have
the Madeira
or like the Ardnamurchan Sherry. I wouldn't always have that in my collection. I would buy it, keep it for a good while, but I wouldn't be like, oh no, that's nearly finished, I'm going to get another bottle of that. I'll be getting another bottle of.
Now, I rated the Ardnamurchan an 8.
You did?
But I do agree with you. But do you know why I agree with you? It's possibly for an entirely different reason. But
why?
I think there's that because Ardnamurchan, all of Ardnamurchan is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if I was to buy another bottle, I would probably try something else in the range or buy something else from the range.
Okay.
Rather than just buying the same thing again.
Yeah.
So if my when I get to the point where I'm finishing off my Ardnamurchan, I might not buy the peated sherry again, but I'll buy another Ardnamurchan.
Yeah.
And that might be what if I pick myself up a bottle of Glasgow 1770, which I probably will do in the near future. I probably. Again, I could pick this up fairly easily, but again, I feel like I might lean into if I had to only buy one bottle, which is what I'm sort of at the minute because I can't just buy every fucking bottle that I want. That's not how life is working at the moment. So I'd probably just take the hit and I'd probably get something that's maybe a bit different, a bit more special.
No, I get that.
But yeah, 7.0. That's our rating, and an A. Let's
an A. Will we say
it's an A?
Okay.
If we say it's an A, all right. It's not an A plus or an S, because an S would be 9.5 to 10.
See, an S has just made me think of Resident Evil. When you completed Resident Evil 2, you got your rankings.
Yeah. Lots of Devil May Cry does that. So yeah, no. Aye, that's us finished up our review of the Glasgow 1770 Peated.
Yeah, so if you haven't had anything from Glasgow Distillery Company, try out not just their whiskey, try out their other spirits. They are good. But let's face it, go for the whiskey. I highly recommend the Peated. Their core range, the three signatures are always honest, a winner.
You'll find something you like.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of something for everyone. If you want a peated whiskey, get the peated. If you prefer unpeated, try the triple distilled or the original.
I mean, like the triple distilled is a bit brighter, a bit fresher, and a lot lighter and smoother. Trying to avoid that one, but it's, as I said, dangerously easy to drink.
Yeah.
So if you like whiskey but you don't like strong whiskey, that's a good one because it's a little bit more like kind of Irish whiskey.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think
smooth as a baby's arse.
Aye, that's the one.
If you're maybe just not a fan of peated, try the original. In any case, just try it. Try it for yourself. See what you think. Tell us our rating system shite. Whatever you. I disagree. I think our rating system is great.
It's the best.
It is the rating system of. Yeah. Do you?
Aye, numbers 1 to 10.
It's a genius. It's twice as many as 1 to 5.
It is, yeah. It's twice as good.
Right. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
I'll see you next time. Bye.